Welcome to the Drumdums question and answer number 2. Let's do this. Okay guys, I recently passed 1,000 subscribers, and then I said go ahead and ask me some questions for another Q&A, and I did not expect to get so many questions. I actually got quite a bit of questions. I got like 4 or 5 pages full of questions here. I actually went through all the questions so I could really think about some of the answers, wrote them down, so that way I give you guys the most honest and up-to-date answer that I can think of. But thank you for that. Thank you so much for the questions. I really appreciate it. Now, I had some older questions from my last Q&A, just 2 or 3 that were kind of lingering, and I wanted to go back and make sure I answer those. These were just a couple guys that missed the boat on the last one. Anyway, here we go on those. Okay, first question, Ralph LaRusso. He asked, what prep do you do for each review? And that's a good question. I like to be prepared, so this is my handy dandy notepad. I use this for every review I do. I actually still have all my reviews written down that I've done. Like here's for my Man of Steel review. But yeah, this is a big step for me preparing for each review. Also, another thing is I don't watch other reviews before I do a review because I don't want to be clouded by anybody else's opinion, and I don't want to use anybody else's words, for lack of a better term. Okay, next question. Big Block Blu-ray asks, what does your wife and kids think about your movie obsession? Luckily, they're into movies almost as much as I am, so they're pretty supportive of this whole thing. I'm sure that I can get on their nerves sometimes because when you start getting quite a few subscribers on YouTube, you want to do the best to reach out to everybody, and I'm getting a lot of comments, and like I said, I always try to reach out and answer all the comments for everybody, but it does take up more of my time now, so I have to kind of gauge that with my family time because I like to spend time with my family too. Question number 2, what did you do in the military? Actually, I'm still in the military. I am a construction engineer, I guess you could say, project management, that type stuff. What do you think, based on your experience, is the most accurate war movie? Hands down, I gotta say Full Metal Jacket, at least the first part, the basic training portion of that movie, Kubrick nails it. It's dead on, and it's interesting that R. Lee Remney was actually just a set advisor, just a military advisor, and he was so good at it that Kubrick actually gave him the part. If you could be a famous drummer or a famous movie critic, which would you choose? My knee-jerk reaction to that would be a famous drummer because I've been drumming for a long time, like over 30 years, since I was 12 years old. That's my knee-jerk reaction, but I am really enjoying reviewing movies, and I feel like it's something that I could do in the future, and I really enjoy doing it. So if I became a famous reviewer, I wouldn't mind it at all. Tim from the Late Reviews says, what is the song you put on to pump yourself up? The Rocky soundtrack is really my go-to soundtrack when I need that one song to just really like uplift me. When I'm listening to music that's new to me, that's also a good choice, but by default, I usually go to the training montage or Gonna Fly Now from the Rocky soundtrack, as silly and goofy as that seems. Have you ever walked out of a film? I don't think I have, but I came damn close to walking out of Halloween Resurrection, because when Busta Rhymes does a roundhouse kick to Michael Myers, I almost couldn't take it. I literally almost got up and walked out of the theater. Number 3, what is the worst horror film you've ever seen? Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. I've noticed in your drum covers that you collect Star Wars toys. What else do you collect? I collect McFarlane figures, like I have Alien and Predator figures. I collect Marvel figures. I don't really buy action figures that much anymore. I used to buy them years ago when my son was small. It was really fun for me back then. I still buy them here and there. Like I have a new Deadpool figure and a new Hulk figure. But yeah, those are the other ones I have besides that. And I also love collecting Blu-rays. Okay, that is the leftover questions that I had after my last Q&A. So now I'm going to go to the new questions. And Tim from the Late Reviews actually has more questions, so don't worry, Tim. I'm going to get back to you. Okay, Matt the Collector asks, are you into horror mags like Fangoria? Of course, but I don't really buy them. I don't really subscribe to them, but I've seen them on the shelves, and when I'm like in a store or something and I see them, I usually pick them up and I'll flip through them, especially if it's something that I'm really interested in. What got you into horror films? Just to give a short answer on this, it's basically fear. Horror films give me a reaction that most other types of films or genres don't. If you actually go to one of the PanTiltZoom videos, I was a guest on there, and they actually asked me almost that direct question. tell me about your horror background. If you go and check out that video, I'll put a link to it below. I have like a 5-minute answer to that question. Favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film? That would be the first one, of course. Favorite Robert Englund film? Unfortunately, I've never seen another movie. Actually, I have seen Urban Legend, so I guess that would be it. That's the only other movie outside of Nightmare on Elm Street that I've seen. And Urban Legend, I actually didn't mind. Okay, next questions are from the Culture Freak. Number 1, what are your favorite horror remakes? You know, there's not that many good horror remakes that I've seen. Definitely John Carpenter's The Thing, which is actually a remake. A lot of people don't know that. I did like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and I know it's very unpopular, but I did like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Oh, Evil Dead remake. I actually love that one. Number 2, favorite childhood movies. Definitely Star Wars. Also, when I was a kid, I loved the Stallone movies like Rambo and Rocky. Steven Spielberg movies, of course. Jaws, E.T., Goonies. Question 3, favorite TV shows when you were a kid. My favorite TV show when I was a kid was The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. Loved that show. And I also used to watch You Can't Do That on Television, which was on Nickelodeon. Number 4, movies that get you emotional or even a tear. Definitely Titanic. I remember seeing that in the theater, and I remember this really tough looking guy that was sitting next to me, and he just had tears just rolling down his face. I remember it hit me when I left the movie. That was a tough movie. Also in Rocky Balboa, when he's talking about, you know, how Adrian died and how he has nothing left, and the part where he breaks down in front of Paulie, that was a pretty moving scene. Another one is Warrior with Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. I'm not going to give away the ending, but I cried. Number 5, what do you know about my country, Belgium? I actually worked with some Belgians when I was in Afghanistan for a year, and they were really, really friendly people. That's what I loved about them, is they were so inviting and giving, and I loved the chocolate and I loved the waffles. And of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme is from Belgium. The muscles from Brussels. Next question is from Linda Means. She asked, how many more Halloween movies are they going to make? The answer to that question is not enough. Okay, next question is from Matthew Ehrenholt, my good buddy. And he asks, what are your picks for the ultimate horror movie version of The Expendables? I'm not going to answer this the conventional way. I would probably say if it had Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, and Ash from Evil Dead. Those two together would actually be pretty damn awesome. Number 2, have you ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Yes, I have, and it's really funny. It's one of those weird horror comedy type movies, and I actually enjoyed it. Next question is for M4 Movies. He says, what are your favorite Thanksgiving themed movies? You know, I can't think of a Thanksgiving themed movie that I really like. I like Christmas movies, but they just don't really make that many Thanksgiving themed movies, and I can't think of any that I really enjoyed or that stick out. All right, next one's from my buddy Durant from Durant Cinema. Number 1, pizza or cheeseburgers? Depends on my mood, but if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say cheeseburgers. Question 2, why are you so badass? Because I'm the man. Question 3, favorite show? It's either Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. I can't decide. The season 5 of Breaking Bad is one of the greatest seasons of television in history. I dare you to prove me wrong. What are you doing when you're not filming on YouTube? Editing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually trying to spend time with my family. I'm usually at work. My days are just jam-packed full. Let me just say that YouTube does take up a lot of my time. So I'm trying to balance that. Number 5, can you send me that TV on my birthday on the 25th? It's already in the mail. If you could hang with Michael Myers for a day, what would you guys do? Kill teenagers. Okay, next question is from Stephen Campbell. Have you ever considered making your own horror movie? No, the thought of actually filming a full movie, it scares me to death. But having done this whole YouTube thing and having a little bit more experience with editing has actually made me think maybe I could do it, but it's still like a long, long way down the road. So all you guys that actually go out and film your own movies and whatnot, you guys are awesome. And this experience has made me appreciate any filmmakers, even for bad movies, because to be able to get out and make your own movie, that is a feat in and of itself. Just to give you a quick little story, I recently did a review for a movie. I actually had the writer of that movie message me on Facebook, and he basically said, thank you for reviewing the movie, and he kind of wanted to give me his side of the story in that filmmaking process. And immediately I replied to him saying, hey, all I do is sit here and just talk about your movie. You actually came up with an idea and then you executed it. So I am not worthy, but I thought that was really freaking cool, by the way. Next question is from Stig. What do you think of the Revenant trailer? Wow, that is a great trailer, especially trailer 2, and I can't wait to see that movie. Do you like Universal monster movies? If so, what's your favorite? Definitely got to go with Frankenstein. What a classic. Now that you're retiring from the military, what are you planning on doing? I actually just got a job last week, and it's going to be in construction management. Next question is from Mariana from Impression Blend. And she says, what are your favorite October Halloween things to do aside from watching horror movies? Here in Georgia, this time of year, it is just gorgeous. The weather's gorgeous outside, so I like going running. I don't like running when it's way, way too hot. So this time of year is just perfect. Also, I do like decorating, Halloween decorations. That's always fun. This year I actually kind of went all out. Next question is from Mr. Multi-Alber. He actually asked kind of the same question that Durant asked about TV shows. My favorite TV shows are Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. Loved the Daredevil series. There's actually so many good shows out right now. Like, this is the time for TV shows. Netflix is just so awesome. And I probably have 10 other TV shows in my head right now that I could think of, but I love good TV shows. Oh, first season of House of Cards. Wow, that was really great. My next question is from my good buddy CP from Will I Like It Reviews. He wants to know, what is the most annoying part of being my Horror Needs a Hero partner? Because me and him, we actually do a series of videos called Horror Needs a Hero. Really nothing, CP. You're an awesome Horror Needs a Hero partner. Okay, next question is from Jack's Channel and Stuff. Number 1 is worst cinema experience. That's really a tough one. I mean, I've seen a lot of bad movies. If you consider that a bad experience, I guess it is. But I have had, I think, 1 or 2 movies that the movie just malfunctioned in the middle and then we didn't get to finish the movie. So that would probably be the worst. And then also, when people talk during movies, I can't stand that. That drives me nuts. And the cell phones. Recently, I had an experience where there were 3 or 4 cell phones going at the same time during the movie, and I about freaking lost it. Favorite snacks during the movie? I actually answered this in my last Q&A, but why not? I'll go ahead and answer it again. It's a Bunch of Crunch, nachos, Mountain Dew. Favorite film of the last 5 years? Wow, that is a tough one because there's been so many freaking great movies over the last 5 years. Interstellar really comes to mind. Inception, It Follows, Sicario. I just saw Sicario. Wow, phenomenal film. Okay, we're getting back to Tim from the Late Reviews. He asks, what were some of the obstacles you have faced when you started to run? And can you show us some of the scenery you see when you run? Well, actually, I just did a video for that very purpose. I'll put a link down to it below, but it's called Running with Drumdums or something like that. And you can click on that, and I actually take you guys for a run with me. And as far as any obstacles, I'm kind of running into the obstacles now because I'm getting older. So you have problems with your feet. And if you run too much, you're gonna do some damage. So I'm learning that it's best to run probably no more than 3 times a week if you're gonna do like a 5K each time. Last year I used to run every Saturday and I'd do about 8 miles. And just the constant wear and tear of my feet, it did damage. So I can't do that anymore. What are some habits, traditions you do when watching movies? Blankets, pillows, candles, popcorn? Really, I just got to be comfortable. I got to have the lights out for sure if I'm in my house. And I don't like talking during a movie. Even when I'm at home, I can't stand it when people talk during the movie. It drives me nuts. Slipcover or no slipcover? Steelbook. No, but seriously, if it comes with a slipcover, I'm not throwing the damn thing away. How often do you play drums? What are your go-to songs to warm up to or cover? I don't play as much as I used to. I probably play maybe a couple times a month now, actually, just because I'm so busy. But when I started out, I used to play every day. I used to drive my mother crazy. And songs to warm up to, I really kind of warm up just kind of freestyle, or I'll throw on something that's pretty easy. Perfect Circle, Breaking Benjamin, those are good songs to warm up to. Also, if you're just getting into drumming, I would highly suggest AC/DC, Back in Black. Easiest drumming music ever. Okay guys, because of the length of this video, I'm going to break this into 2 parts. This is the end of part 1. Next video will be part 2. So for this video, I will bid you farewell and Drumdum out.